Welcome to the Living a Nordic Life podcast, where we explore a simpler, cosier and more intentional life the Nordic way. I'm Fiona McKenna, your Nordic living guide and founder of Living a Nordic Life, where I share all things Nordic living and show you that a Nordic life is the way to bring intentional calm and healthy habits into your own life, wherever you are in the world. Are you looking for ways to bring simplicity, coziness and calm into your life? Well, let me show you how. Visit the Living a Nordic Life website to explore how I can help you on your journey to simple, healthy and happy calm, the Nordic way. You can subscribe to the podcast right here. And if you want regular inspirational emails sent with love from Norway and straight to your inbox, don't forget to subscribe to the Living a Nordic Life newsletters. And so now let's dive into our episode. Hello and welcome to this episode. Whenever I talk or write about school in Norway, I get loads of comments from you all. So it's obviously a subject that you find interesting. And it's something that all of us have experienced at some point in our lives, haven't we? We've all been to school. Well, almost everybody. So I thought that another podcast about school might be good. Probably the last one for a while. And one about the start of the school year specifically. It's a time when everyone is a little bit nervous, aren't they? The kids are worried about any changes from the year before. I think you have to have very confident children for them not to be worried. They might also be excited because they're going to be with their friends every day and they get back to all the fun things that they do at school, especially the little ones. But as parents, we're worried as well, aren't we? We're worried about whether our kids will do well. Will they get on with the other children? Especially if there have been conflicts already. Will they get on with the teachers if the teachers change? And will things be familiar or will it be different for us too? For me, this year, I'm probably a bit more worried than most parents. We've had some problems over the last couple of years, which I don't really go into, maybe a little bit, but I'm trying to keep my podcast as uplifting as possible, so you don't need to hear about all the dull, uninteresting, negative things that might happen, although they do. And if you want to hear about that, drop me a line, let me know, and maybe I can do an episode about it. But I'm not going to go into detail today. Suffice it to say that they have not been small things. And I'm terribly worried about whether the coming academic year will be the same as the one before, which would not be good. So think positive thoughts for me, please. As a foreigner, I think I'm also more worried than Norwegian parents because every experience with school is new for me as a parent. It's new for my kids as well, but it's new for me. It's very different to school in England. Everything is different. I mean, on the surface, it looks like it might be the same. And we're all European, so you'd think it would be the same, but it's not. And it's a long way from what school was like when I was there, which was quite a while ago. So there's not that comfort and familiarity that you get when you're in your mother country. You know, and you've got some idea, haven't you? You watch the news and you talk to people and you hear about the way things change. But it really is quite different. At the time we're recording this, it's a couple of weeks yet before school starts, and the academic year in Norway begins in the middle of August. They break up quite early. They break up for the summer holiday on about the 20th of June. So they have 8 weeks holiday. So they go back. This year it's the 18th of August. And August it's almost the start of autumn here. The end of August is definitely the start of autumn. The fields are beginning to be ploughed and we've already enjoyed some autumn markets by the time we get to the school starts. And the days are getting shorter. It's still warm and predictable on the weather front. And we haven't yet had a frost. Certainly not down here in the south. I'm sure probably up in the mountains there will be a frost in August. And I've probably said this before as well if you listen to me a lot, we have had very cold weather previously when we've been up to Trøndelag, which is a little bit further north. It's kind of in the middle of the country. And it was the 5th of July and it was 1 degree in the morning. We were eating breakfast outside the cabin in our coats. So yes, it can be cold. But I'm in a unique position with my kids this year In that, I have three children. One in Barnaskole, which is primary school, the first school that they start in. One in Ungdomsskole, and one in VGS, that is high school. So, in each of the school levels, in each of the different types of schooling. And they all start on the same day, which is great, isn't it? Everybody needs to be taken to school, apart from Millie, my middle child, who wants to get the bus, which is what she always does. She's in the last year. The older kids don't really want me to be there with them, but Mia, my youngest, likes Sandra and I to take her to school on the first day. And the schools welcome it as well. They encourage parents to go along. We have a school that Mia goes to, the Barnaskole, in our village, which is big, and I mean it's 190 kids, it's not huge, but the buildings are big and the space is big and it's expansive, and it feels like they could quite happily welcome parents there as well. But parents being part of the school community is very important here, and especially at the beginning of the school year. Small celebrations are organised for the first day that include the parents, help us meet the other parents, and relax us all a little bit for the coming year, because we're all a little bit nervous whether we like to admit it or not. And the teachers make a point of introducing themselves and showing us the classroom and the cloakroom so that we know where our kids are going to be hanging up their coats and where they're going to be sitting. And that introduction means that we're calmer, and that's picked up by the children. They feel calmer as well. And it's all happy and very welcoming. For kids with more challenges, they even have time before school starts so that they can meet their teachers, see where they're sitting, and learn some of the routines. And this might sound daft. It might sound like it's a bit of overkill. But for neurodivergent kids and teenagers, this is incredibly reassuring. It's reassuring for us parents as well. And one of the worst things for them is not knowing what's going to be happening. So to remove as many of those unknowns as possible is ideal, because then they're not wondering, where am I sitting? What does my teacher look like? What does my classroom look like? All those worries that are amplified a little bit. So they're prepared for all eventualities, and this makes for a calmer environment for everybody, not just for them, but for the children around them as well. But before our kids start school, we have to go and get some supplies. Children in Norway don't wear school uniform. I don't know any schools where they wear school uniform. I'm a bit conflicted with this, because I was brought up in England where everybody wears school uniform, and it's quite unusual for me to see them going to school without. You don't know which school they're at, you don't know which kids are at school, and I'm used to that kind of uniformity. And I think it poses some challenges, because we have to choose outfits that are going to be both practical and durable, especially for the little ones. Mia, my youngest, has been known to trash a pair of trousers within a week. And the trousers are not like the school uniform trousers that you get in the UK that are kind of lined with Teflon or something crazy like that. And they seem to be absolutely indestructible. So you're just going out and buying a normal pair of trousers, basically. And a pair of kind of thin jeggings, which is what the girls want to wear, will get a hole in it in no time. They're outside a lot. Every single recess, every single break. It doesn't matter whether it's raining or snowing or whatever. And they're encouraged to climb and run and do all those things that kids like doing. So clothes can get a little bit of wear, to say the least. The other things that they need are outdoor clothes, and these are both for wet weather and for cold weather. And we like to try and buy these in the autumn if we possibly can, and anticipate whether or not they're going to grow. Because if you go and get them when the first snow starts, or when the first forecast is for snow, there is nothing in the shops because everybody else has been out. So I've learnt this. I learnt this a few years ago when I was going like every couple of days. Oh my goodness, is there anything? Is there anything? Still nothing. And we ended up with something that wasn't as durable as it could have been. So they need wet weather clothes, which are not insulated, but they also need snowsuits and cold weather clothes. And every child in Barnaskole, not Ungdomsskole, which is senior school, they don't, but every child in Barnaskole needs a pair of indoor shoes, because when they come into the cloakroom, they take their outdoor shoes off, which is perfect when the weather is wet or we have snow and everybody's soggy. and it makes for a much more cosy, comfortable environment for everybody. So they need something like trainers, or a pair of slippers if they want to, or some pretty little flat shoes for the girls, but something that's comfortable that they can walk about in, inside, and that they can get on and off quite quickly because they want to get dressed and get outside, and especially when we have snow, because they have so many clothes to put on, so they want to get dressed quickly. We don't ever have to buy books or writing materials here. Occasionally we're encouraged to, we're encouraged to go to the library, but not very often encouraged to go and buy books or anything like that. Although the kids do like to take pens and pencils with them, they tend to use the ones at school. When they're at Barnes School, there are always pens and pencils and paper available. For the older kids, most of the work is done on a computer. They don't do an awful lot of actual writing, I'm afraid to say, which I think is perhaps a bit of a sad thing, because writing actually connects a different part of your brain, and it's a wonderful way to be creative and to express yourself. So I'm a bit sad about that. There's an awful lot of work on the computer, but that is life, isn't it? We do a lot of work on the computers. For the younger ones, it's much less time spent on a computer, but from grade 1 up to grade 4 they use an iPad. We don't buy those. The schools provide them, and they have it from the first day pretty much that they start school, like the first term that they start school, right up until they leave that school. And then the next school they're given a computer and they bring it home in the holidays and everything. It's fantastic. So they can do schoolwork and they can do whatever they want to do on it. I mean, there are some things I think that are blocked. So certainly at the senior school, at Ungdom School, they can't get onto TikTok and various things like that, because I guess they're getting distracted, and also I think some of them are probably sharing videos and things that they shouldn't be. When it comes to my eldest, Brendan, who is starting at high school, which is the equivalent of sixth form, he's 16, it's slightly different. In Norway, there are several options for high school. The standard sixth form type college, which is mostly academic, or something, they can do something more vocational. And that is where he's going. He's going to Agriculture College. It's an absolutely beautiful place where he's going. It's got lovely old buildings mixed with slightly newer buildings, that house the accommodation block and things like that. There are barns where the animals live, and extensive fields, both for grazing and for crops. And the whole thing leads down to the sea, beautiful sea, at a little village called Melsomvik. So if you want to Google that, go right ahead. It's absolutely lovely. It's just picture perfect. And it's also home to Norway's largest equestrian school. Having said that, it's still small by English or American or French standards in terms of a college, because it's only got 250 students. Even our largest sixth form college, which is in Sandefjord, the town near me, only has 2,000. So it's not colossal. And that's the whole college. It's cosy. 250 students is lovely, especially in this beautiful environment. I'll try and get some pictures of it actually when he starts, or just after he starts, or when they have an open day, which they do in September, and share them on my blog and on some social media accounts that I've got, so that you can have a look at it, because it really is spectacular. But as you can imagine, Brendan is going to need quite a bit more equipment than one would need if studying something academic. He needs things like steel toe cap boots. He's going to need outdoor gear for when he's outside. He's going to need a helmet and a visor and special gloves for when he's learning to use a chainsaw and do forestry. And then, of course, all of this will be done outside in the winter. So he's going to need winter clothes as well. So as you can imagine, there's going to be an awful lot of equipment. But that requires shopping at a special place, so we're going to be going to the agriculture shop for that, which is always fun because we quite like it there anyway. We go there quite a lot because we have to go and get stuff for the chickens. So we're familiar with it. Something I should touch on as well, which is regarding getting kids prepared for school, and something that actually was quite a shock to me when I first moved here, and that is school bags. There only seem to be 2 brands available in Norway for kids who are in barneskole or up to, maybe like 13. And that is Bergen's and Beckman. And they are eye-wateringly expensive. Really expensive. Admittedly, the kids usually carry quite a few books around, and many of them either walk to school or they get the bus to school. Their parents don't always pick them up. I mean, not really that many actually. Most of them walk, even the very little ones, and they walk a good mile. So they have to carry quite a lot, because sometimes it's the longest journey. The bags are designed, these 2 particular brands of bags are designed ergonomically so that the straps take the weight, and they have a padded metal piece or a padded plastic piece in the main structure of the back of the bag, so that when the kids put it on their backs, it protects their back. It doesn't kind of sag. But I'm still not sure it justifies the price. Often you'll find bundles of the bag with a lunchbox and a water bottle and a pencil case and that kind of thing, all matching, so that it's all matchy-matchy. And this costs about 2,600 krona. That's about $260. So it's not cheap. We're not talking about a $30 bag here. We're talking about something that really is quite expensive. If you buy just the bag, that's usually about $160. So that's quite a lot. But I have noticed in recent years that quite a few of the charity shops and the second-hand shops and local kind of commune organised reselling sites have started reselling the bags, which I think is wonderful, because quite often they don't get very much wear. And the kids, and they're durable as well, and the kids want something new, for the following year, or maybe after a couple of years. So they're selling the bags on, which is great, because it means that if we do have them left over or, the kids want an upgrade, then we can at least pass them on. Or we can go there and find a really nice, nearly new bag for our children that's not going to cost us some astronomical price. So now you have a little bit of an idea about how we prepare for school, and over the next couple of weeks, and certainly when school starts, I'll be sharing a few pictures of what the first few days of school look like for a child in Norway. And I'll talk to you soon. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the Living a Nordic Life newsletters so you can get an email when I release a new episode. It's a quick and easy way to keep up with all things Nordic living. Please visit livinganordiclife.com. You can listen to Living a Nordic Life on lots of podcast apps, including Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcasts, and plenty of others. If you've enjoyed the Living a Nordic Life podcast, why not leave me a rating? So that's the end of Living a Nordic Life for today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.